The ultimate guide to making passive income. 6 best dividend stocks of 2023. Have you ever wished there was an easy way to make money on a monthly basis without having to lift a finger? Well, there is a way, of course, and it's dividend stocks. Today, we're going on a journey through the 6 best dividend stocks in 2023, which have the potential to make you rich. Welcome to our channel that provides helpful videos on finance, investing, and earning more money in order to be independent and escape the financial system that has been binding us for ages. We do not provide financial advice, and anything that is said on this YouTube channel should not be seen as financial advice. These are biased opinions based on knowledge and personal experience. You should always understand that with investing there is always a risk, and do your own research before making any investments. So passive income is the dream for a lot of people. I mean, who doesn't want to sit back on the beach and have the money rolling in? Dividend stocks are one of the most passive, easy ways to make money on a consistent basis with absolutely no work. As long as you pick the right ones with long-term potential, like the stocks we are going to be discussing today, you are going to have to be dedicated. We like to think of it like this. You can either work hard for the next 5 to 10 years and enjoy the rest of your life, or enjoy the next 5 to 10 years and work hard for the next 50 years. A dividend is essentially a reward some companies give the people who hold their stock, otherwise known as their shareholders, which thank them for their ongoing support. These are often paid 4 times per year, once each quarter. People always think that investing is about finding the next big thing. But the data suggests we might be heading into rocky times, and dividend stocks are the perfect solution for getting paid while a market might not be experiencing explosive growth. Here's an important warning for you guys. Lots of people get drawn in by companies offering extremely high dividends, which is cool, but as much as it's about the money you're being paid, it's also essential that it's sustainable for the long term. Would you rather we give you $10 this year and then cut you off for $5 every year for the rest of your life? Starbucks. The first dividend stock we are going to talk about is Starbucks. Although this isn't the highest dividend payer in the world, I do think it's extremely high for the quality of the stock. At 2.37%, they don't even need to entice people to hold their shares as they are extremely popular anyway. I'm not surprised when they give you free refills. It's actually a genius marketing strategy. As everyone always shares photos of their drinks on social media, it looks like it's working, with more than 32,000 stores across 82 countries. And this is expected to grow to over 55,000 stores by 2030. To top this all off, Starbucks proves themselves a solid investment as they took a hit on profits in 2020 but still increased their dividends. This proves that even during tough times, they can be counted on to deliver. REIT. This next one is a little bit different, but extremely exciting, as it's a REIT called Realty Income Corporation. Well, maybe it's not that exciting, but it could make you some money as it has an annual dividend of 4.53%. A REIT stands for a real estate investment trust. REITs own a bunch of properties, and the money they receive for renting the real estate is split up and shared with investors. And importantly, it must legally distribute at least 90% of their taxable income annually. That means you can benefit from rental income without actually owning any properties. This one in particular owns over 11,000 commercial properties, with a large amount of these being standalone buildings, with tenants including Walmart, Dollar General, AMC Theaters, Tesco's, and Amazon. They know the tenants are likely to pay a reliable and predictable income, especially with companies like Walmart being so recession-proof and even thriving in hard times. During the Great Recession in 2008, their tenancies only dropped by 4%, and they didn't stop increasing their dividends. This is not surprising, as 94% of their rental income is resilient to economic downturns. They've paid 620 dividends in a row for more than 52 years. JP Morgan. The next one is JP Morgan. JP Morgan is by far the most influential bank on the planet, and also a great stock with a dividend yield of 3.1% annually. When investing, it's a good idea to have your money split across multiple different sectors for diversification purposes. This means that if one sector isn't doing well, you are covered in other areas. JP Morgan is one of the longest-standing banks and actually provided the financing for the American railroad system, as well as JP Morgan himself arranging the financing which prevented the nation's monetary system from collapsing back in the 1900s. This gives them a lot of credibility. When inflation is high, Banks make more money as they're able to charge more for loans, but JP Morgan have many revenue streams outside of lending to everyday people, which makes them less impacted by the state of the economy. A lot of their money comes from trading. After all, they are the largest investment bank in the world. PepsiCo. For this next one, we eventually decided on PepsiCo, as they have been aggressively expanding into the snack industry. In fact, they own Doritos and Whoppers, or more commonly known as Lay's. And these snack sales account for over 65% of the company's profits. PepsiCo has also secured 70% of the sports drink market with Gatorade, which absolutely dominates Coca-Cola's Powerade. They are currently paying a dividend of 2.7% annually, with this being a special time because if they increase their dividend payout this year, then they will rise to the rank of dividend king. When investing in a dividend company, we do sometimes get worried that because they're paying so much money out to their investors, they might reduce how much they're reinvesting back into their business. But that just isn't the case with Pepsi. With $6.9 billion in cash and short-term investments, they have more than enough to both pay dividends and reinvest back into things like their manufacturing capacity and productivity. This makes us very confident in holding PepsiCo stocks, as we can see a lot of potential for the company long-term. Unilever. Let's talk about Unilever, as this company's actually really interesting. They're paying investors a cool 4.56% dividend, which is pretty good if you ask me. Now you might be thinking, what's Unilever? I've never heard of them. And you know what? We wouldn't blame you. But if we were to walk around, showcasing all the Unilever products in this store, it'd probably take us over 2 hours. Unilever are the giants behind Ben and Jerry's ice cream, Magnum's, Solero, Cornetto, and that's just the ice cream. Radox muscle soap, perfect for me. Hot Noodle, Vaseline, and even PG Tips if you fancy a nice English cup of tea. But you get my point. The brands we just mentioned are only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Unilever. We feel confident that it's near enough impossible to leave the supermarket after a weekly shop without one of their products, especially if you're from the UK or Europe. Founded in 1929, it's safe to say Unilever have been around a while. They even aired the first television advert in the UK in 1955, and also the first color TV advert in 1969. So from ice cream and ready meals to deodorant and hair gel, Unilever have strong brands under their belt. This could help Unilever push through times of high inflation. Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF. The last one is the Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF. Now, this isn't technically a stock. Instead, it's a fund that combines 404 stocks with above-average dividend yields, which you can invest in with one simple click. This actually includes JP Morgan, as well as Johnson & Johnson, and many more. This ETF makes the process of investing in dividend stocks easier by allowing you to spread your risk over many different companies. It may not have the highest payout, which is currently 3.2% annually, but because of how the ETF works, it does mean that it will always be above the market average. Vanguard funds are also widely trusted, as they have been in the game for over 45 years and always have extremely low expense ratios. This is important as it doesn't matter how good the dividend is if they're charging you an arm and a leg for it. A lot of people's goal with dividend investing is to use the free money coming in every quarter to cover their living expenses. This means anything extra they make is 100% profit. Just be wary if you do go down the dividend route, as it can make you more tempted to spend the money instead of reinvesting it, which doesn't do much for your future.